Maggie Mulhern from Modern Salon TV. I am here with Sue Pemberton. I'm going to let you say your title.
Sue Pemberton, International Artistic Director for Vero k-pak color.
That's right. I let her do that because it's a big title.
Yes, it's long.
we're here at the Water Street studio, and we just did a great photo shoot. And I asked you the question, when you teach a class, what are the 3 most commonly asked questions? And we both were kind of surprised what they were because they're pretty much things you would think people would know off the top, you know, from beauty school. But why don't you tell us what they are and give us the answers?
One of the questions I get asked a lot is, how do you rinse off vivid hair color? You've got to consider that we have vivid hair colors now. We didn't have them a long time ago. So a lot of times people have a problem with the colors bleeding together. So what I choose to do, and this is what works for me, is I take all the foils out as quick as possible, and I have 2 people doing it. Someone's shampooing and someone's rinsing the water at the same time. So shampoo and rinsing at the same time. Do that for 2 shampoos, and once you've done that, then you can slow down.
Okay. So speed, cold water, is that key?
People ask me that. Does cold water, hot water make a difference? Personally, I just want to get the product off, and I feel that cold water is not very nice it's not a very nice feeling for the client. So to me, I don't personally find a difference whether I use warm or cold water.
Okay. Number 2.
Number 2 is, I get asked all the time when people see me do the coloring techniques, because I like to do minimum amount of foils for maximum impact. So I'm a believer in doing 12 foils, 18 foils, 24 foils. I get asked, how much do you charge for this technique? And my answer is, I always charge the same as what I would do for regular highlights. Just because I've used less foils doesn't mean to say I'm not going to charge, because I've still got a maximum impact and I've still got a great result. So I charge the same as I would for any highlighting technique, even though I've used less foils.
Okay, and what is that for you? If it was you working in a salon, I know that's a different number from someone who's working in a smaller salon in a smaller market, but what would you charge for that?
It's a very loaded question, actually, but I will answer it, and this is what I like to say to people. It really depends on what you're doing with your business. Are you growing your business? Do you have an established business? Are you looking to do more fun colors, creative color? So I think it's a personal thing, depending on where the person is in their career. When I worked in the salon, I personally decided I was going to charge by the hour. And the reason I did that was because a lot of times when you're doing color correction, it takes a long time. So I would rather charge by the hour. Everybody else gets paid by the hour. Why don't hairdressers? So if I do less foils, though, and it takes me less time, I still charge what I would for a regular highlight. And usually when you do foils, even though I'm doing 18 foils, a lot of times when you're changing people's hair because you're putting them into a new look, you have to lighten first, and then you've got to deposit. So you have to do 2 steps. So it's still going to take you roughly 2 hours. So I'd charge what I would for normal highlights.
Okay. And the last one.
Okay, so the question I get asked is, how do you do this technique again when the client comes back? I just do it exactly the same way. I have a tendency, not only do I write down the formulas, we always do that as stylists, as you guys do, I also write down my foil placement. So I write down, where did I start, how many foils I put in, what colors I used, so that way when she comes back, I can find exactly where I started that technique and just go in and do it exactly the same way.
And I'll throw in also, she used multicolored foils so that you knew. She used 3 different shades, and you used different foil colors per shade. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I do that to keep me on track. And I think it's a good visual, because then people that are watching what I'm doing, they can see where I've put the copper colors and the different tones. They can see what foil has what color in it.
Well, that's so cool. Thank you so much. And I know you got to get back to your model and change up her color again, but thanks so much for spending the day with us. It was a great shoot.
Right. Thank you, Maggie.
See you. Thanks.
Thanks.